And good evening to everybody. This is Mike again, figuring out how to install the motherboard that the Area 51 R5. Well, it used to be an R5. Now it's no longer an R5 because, well, there's no motherboard left into it. So, what we did in the previous episode, we removed the water cooled AIO from the top of it. And then we proceeded to remove the motherboard and the RAM and other components from it, which is this guy right here. I haven't bothered removing the NVMe yet off of it. Probably won't, just blat it, maybe. The i9 9820X, which came with the motherboard, is still on there. A little bit of filth on here as well. I removed the memory modules because I'm going to be sending this probably to my son as an upgrade for his system. This is an MS7A87 motherboard, revision 1. It has Alienware written on here. And looking at it, it's a custom or a modified version of an MSI. I haven't found anything specific about it, but it does use its own custom firmwares, which is can be updated from the Dell website for the Alienware, but they haven't updated that in a while, so I'm not sure if that's relevant at these days. It does come with a Wi-Fi. This is where the audio header goes. This is for the CPU power, the 12-volt rails. And incidentally, it's got an additional PCI Express one down here, which I was quite confused about. It's got several USB, 1, 2 USB ports. This says panel 1, but I am pretty positive that's actually a USB, but not entirely sure, so I'm not going to bet a lot on it. It's got these sensor ports. These are specific for the sensors, which I haven't actually removed the cables for. There's no point in doing so, because this case that this will be going into is not won't have the sensors on them, and I don't think it'll be relevant. It's got USB 3 ports on them, which is pretty nice. And it's got these U2 SATAs. So this is an M2 and SSD. This is a U2, which I actually didn't realize at the time that's what they were. So my apologies for that, but fixing my little mistakes a little bit at a time. This sucker, though, has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PCIe ports on it. Now, I've seen these configurations for sale on eBay with like 3 video cards in them, and it does have technically support for 4. And the reason behind that, and this is the curious part, which I always was, is wondering, is because it's got this freaking beast in it. This is a 1,500 watt power supply that came with the case. This one has got, it says 1,500 watt, but technically speaking, the 3 volt and 5 volt combined output is 180 watts. It's going to be very difficult to see. But the 12-volt rails, now those suckers combined is 1,440 watts. So 80 plus gold, can't go wrong. So this is a fully modular power supply. I did take the liberty to plug some of the cables back into it because fishing them while it's in there is a little bit complicated and it's a little bit painful. So I'm going to be fishing this back in through here. It's pretty much just the CPU stuff. I'll put the PCI Express for the graphics cards a little bit later. Now this slides in and then it goes right. There's a clip here, which is good. There we go. And that is how it slides all the way down. So you can actually slide it up to work on it. So you can plug in. It's actually pretty neat. You slide it in. Now, another thing that I discovered is that, for example, this is one of the fans. I was thinking that I had to remove the front end of the case. And I was like, why do I need to do that? It doesn't make sense. They made this easy. They made removing the motherboard tray easy, which is only 2 screws, one down here and one down here. Well, up here, technically, down and up. And then there's these retaining clips, and I was like, "What are those?" And this is a blanking plate, and it just literally just goes in here, slides in place, and then you screw it in so it doesn't move. So I removed them to give them a clean, and boy, were these filthy. They still technically aren't the cleanest on the planet. I had to use an old toothbrush, and I've got my old little trusty brush here. And I was like, yeah, just clean these guys out the best I can, and then put them back because they're huge. They don't sound. They don't have a lot of sound. When I turned the case on last time, um, they they were okay. It's so well designed. I was like very surprised. Now the reason I removed this is because the new motherboard, which I have, actually comes with an AIO. Well, it didn't come with it. I had to go get one for it. And this is the sucker right here. I already took the liberty to put it onto the case for the installation. Now, this AIO, I'm thinking of putting it pretty much in the same place where the other one was, over here. But in order to do that, first I need to install the motherboard. Now, that's going to be a bit of an annoyance, I'm sure, but we'll put up with it and see what we can do. Now, this happens to be a Z590E Asus ROG Strix motherboard, trusty. I've got two 1 terabyte NVMe's in the sucker, an 11900K, and 64 gigs of DDR4. I think it's 3200 or 3600. I don't know, don't care. Just run the XMP on it and hope for the best. So, anyway, so got the cables here. I haven't mounted them yet, probably because this is the fan for one of them. So that one there goes to AIO pump, which is this one right over here, right in the middle of it. It makes my life a little bit easier if I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, that would be too easy just to shine some light in there, obviously. But we're going to put it in there anyway. Click, done. And did I miss it? I don't think I did. Let's try it again. Yeah, no, it's in there. Okay, cool. And then I got this guy here. Now I was trying to figure out where this guy went. And I have a feeling, because I was looking at the manual wasn't really exactly clear. They gave me this adapter here, which is a splitter. Don't really think I need that guy. And then they gave me this guy. Now, this guy makes sense. He's got the PWM for the power of the controller of this thing. And I'm sure it's got LEDs because this has got to be a LED controller on it. Now, that to me makes sense. Now, why does it make sense? Because this also has to have LEDs. So where would this go? Now, I need to figure this guy out because I do have an LED guy here. One of them is an ARGB, which is the RGB, which is a plus volts, data, and ground. And the other one is red, green, and blue, and ground. So I need to figure out which one I want to use for this and which way they go. Now, Corsair, in their wisdom, have provided me with instructions right here in the form of you got to scan a QR code to be able to go find it, and then it doesn't find it. So you've got to go and grab the instructions. Now, this is an ARGB cable, as you can see, and it's got the 3 points. So I'm suspecting that this fan, this guy right here, plugs into this thing. Now this has 3 different ports and a pass through. So these two go, and this has got a pass through. I'm pretty positive that's what it is. I don't particularly care for the RGB part of things, and the reason I say that is because at the end of the day, this case is mostly going to be closed. So where it goes, nobody knows. We don't really have to worry about it. So fans, LED, yeah. So one of these guys is not like the others. This guy pretty much goes up here, and then we'll worry about it when we get there. So there is a controller. We can plug in the controller with all the different experience, blah, blah. Nah, that can't be asked, the IQ stuff for now. As I said, this is going to wind up inside of the case. Now, the one thing I do need to be worried about, unplug this guy over here and fish him out of the way so he doesn't get crushed, pinched, or otherwise block everything. So I'm going to put him back into this clip over here. All right. Now, we need to fit this into there, and there's these slides. So I need to make sure that I get the slides in correctly. Not incorrectly, but in correctly. So, or improperly. Even that sounds wrong. I got to put them in right. There you go. So, as I said, I already did a fitting onto the motherboard panel, and I actually had to go and push these guys out because they were designed for the other type of processor. So they obviously didn't want me to mess about and try to shoehorn my own junk into here, but it is what it is. All right, I'm going to just rest that onto the metal. So this, in theory, should just go. White, you put you over here. There we go. So they should just go slide. Oh, got to get these guys out of the way. Get in and then go click. And they should just, no, not quite. Something's wrong. Ah, there we go. Cable was in the way. The one thing I didn't want it to do, and it did it. Now, and there, it's slid in. Perfect. So, trusty screwdriver. Find one of the screws that actually came with the case. I just need one for now. I could probably let go and it wouldn't slide out. They are that good. And click. All done. All right. So now I got another one down here I'm going to take care of. I'm going to put that guy in. Same type of screw. They're all pretty much the same. It's fantastic. Makes my life a lot easier. All right. Okay, so that's done there. Right. We're done. Let's close it all up and start. No, not quite. Not quite. All right. So the first things to do, power. This is the made in China MB24 pin. Now, that's the beauty of these things. I don't think that this is proprietary. Now, I haven't double checked it. And now I'm thinking about it myself. Should I double check it? Risk. Plug it in. Oh, that slid in easy and clipped itself. That's perfect. So this guy is actually in there. No questions asked. All right, now we've got, oh, well, that's a bit of an issue. I got two of these USB cables because they're both USB-C. USB 3s. Now, I do have this guy over here, and I do have this one. I don't have any others. Now, if I were to take my trusty phone companion, I have lots of SATA crap, which I don't care about. I got a TB reader. I don't know what that guy is. All right. It doesn't matter. One for now will have to do. So we'll turn this guy off. But first of all, before I digress, CPU power. This guy right here. He was another one of these that comes off of the PCI Express. Now he has to go all the way in that upper region over here, which is, it's a little bit tight, but I'm sure that he'll be all right if I can just cry like a child. This thing actually was on there. I don't remember how this fit. Oh, it's a screw over there. I'm not touching that. All right, let's see if I can get the old flashlight out. All right, can I see? I can see. All right, the important part is for me to see. Other than that, harsh. Ah, it is the right way up. Perfect. And gentle does it. Come on, you can open the clip. Jaws of life. Jaws of life. Jaws of. Actually, it's actually in there. I didn't hear it click because it was being very nice to me. All right, so fish this guy out of the way. Perfect. Now, flashlight off because it's a phone after all. All right, so we got this cable here that we need for the fans. And this guy goes up here in the corner, which I'm actually going to fish off of those leads. So, yes, I said I was going to use one of the USBs. USB 1. Let's see which one that is. I don't need very many. I might get an adapter in the near future just to be able to make sure that I can actually use the second one. And gentle light click. Perfect. Now, this is the PCIe Power 1. This would be great because it would be absolutely fantastic to have. Because I don't have a motherboard that requires it, we're not going to add it in there. All right. And I don't like the positioning of this thing. Theoretically, should just go over here where all the other guys are. And then there's a retainer clip here that I can use. He looks pretty sweet and happy. And I got this other guy, which is the HD audio. Now, I never use HD audio. Why? Well, I don't need it. And this sucker is all the way down there. See it? He's down there in this corner. Can't get to him. At least not easy. So I'm not going to bother. This guy, you're going to be fished out of the way. I mean, if I actually needed the use of the HD audio, I would start swearing or find an adapter or extender or something. But I don't have that particular option because I don't care for it. All I use is USB-C headphones, or not USB-C, but wireless dongle-based headphones. All right. So I'll put these cables out of the way, fish them out of the way for airflow. Yeah, a little bit later. So what am I missing? All right, so there's that other USB guy, which I'm not going to be able to use. Then there's this guy. He's a fan. Perfect. He's a case fan. Even better. Oh, look at this. There's a case fan plug right here. Click. All right, that's that sensor guy that we don't need. Fish him out of the way so he doesn't bother anybody. This is the panel. That's going to be something that I had not anticipated properly. So one of these plugs is a panel plug. Well, that might be a moment for another day. I could sacrifice the power switch that I installed on mine and have it external in for a short period of time while I try to figure out the panel. Because one of these, this is audio, as I said. That's a sensor. And then there's a whole bunch of other guys. Here we go, right here. Now, this is panel 1, and panel 1 is the buttons up here. And now I got to figure out what this button does because all the buttons have LEDs. Everything is LED based. The side of the case, everything has LEDs. So it'll take some extra studying with regards to that on what goes where. So this is a USB 2.0, which is actually a different plug from these USB 2s on this motherboard. So I'm going to have to either make an adapter or find an adapter. The panel is the same type of plug. It's like, why? Why would you do that? But are the colors the same? Is it technically another USB? Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle if I know. I think it's just another USB, but oh no, the colors are different. There's different colors in here and in different ports. So that's actually quite important. So I'm going to have to find an Alienware adapter or craft one. Yeah, but that's a story for another time. I want to get this motherboard up and running first. Make sure that everything works. Now, I got this shroud here where the fan's going to go. And I'm going to be using the one that came with the Corsair. So this is going to be an extraction fan. It's got to come out. There's a fan. There we go. Little arrows that indicate that it's going to spin in this direction and kick it out. So that's how we're going to install it. But first, what I need to do is I need to find how I'm going to put this guy up in here like this. Is this going to be a good solution like this? I think that's actually not too bad. It all seems to want to fit. Now, it's a tight squeeze. It's actually pushing against this shroud over here. I don't mind that it pushes against the shroud. I mean, I don't have to put it there. I mean, I could put it here, but this is going to be more of a pain because I got to then use the adapter that came with this guy. Or easier yet, just take the sticker off of this guy and then I use this to plug it in there. But then it's going to extract the front, and I don't like that because if it's got, no, I think I'm going to try it this way. Now, if I put it this way, there's a problem. Anybody spot it? That's right. I got to move this up. So maybe if I rotate it and put it this way, what do you guys think? That way it doesn't interfere with the graphics card slot. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, so this is the way I'm going to put it. And now, where's those arrows? Slings and arrows this way. So this is going to go like this. Now, what I can do is if I rotate it 90 degrees, these cables go out of the way so they're not in the way of the case. All right, that sounds like a plan. Not a great plan, but it is a plan, technically, of some sort. All right, now what I do need to do is find my usual bag of collective tricks. Here, no, I need the screws. So, what did we decide? We're gonna put it this way, so these guys are out of the way, and then with the fan, so that they're like this. All right. Let's test fit one of these screws into this fan shroud or this radiator. Oh, that fits perfect. Okay, 4 of these, sir. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nope, wrong one. 4. It was the right one. It was just clean compared to the others. Okay, so once again, test fit like this and fan like this. All right. So I'm going to put this together. Just a few moments while I do this. I may have to ask my editor to be so kind and provide me with a Speedy Gonzalez solution. I need to take my little tiny screwdriver because unfortunately parts of the fan, I got to put the screw. Okay, I'll show you guys what I mean. I got to put the screw in here into this hole. And then I got to put the screwdriver through the hole. Oh, that's not a lot of room. Maybe I need something. Oh no, it'll be enough. It'll be enough. It's just enough to be happy. Okay. If it is just enough to be happy, I am just enough to be. Will this be a better option? I think this is actually a better option. The reason so I got this size versus this size. So you guys can see. Now, I don't want it to use the longer one because I don't want it to go through the fans or through the fins of the radiator. That would be bad. But as there's enough plastic here in this, I think I can get away with it. So I'm going to try that. And by try, I mean swear at it for about half an hour. Okay, that's there. All gentle like. And nothing got hurt. Okay, all right, I can live with that. I can most definitely live with that. I'll put this guy in there. Snag that. So these guys will either fish forward or fish back through the side or something. I should have one and oh, two more. Yeah, perfect. Just the right amount. So put that guy through the hole. Put that guy through the hole. My God, get into your hole. It's your home, buddy. There you go. I try not to over torque anything. There's no purpose. I mean, if you need to snug something up, put a couple washers in it. This one doesn't seem to need it. There you can get I mean, I've seen all sorts of stupid things, like people just driving really long screws and things like that. Get the right screw for the right job. If it's not, and you need more uh, spacers, just put a couple rubber. You can get little rubber. Oh, this guy doesn't want us to fit properly. Let me see. You can get little rubber. Oh no, he's fine. That was. I think I was trying to strip it in there or something. There we go. You can get little tiny rubber washers, or even metal ones would do technically, but little rubber ones would be perfect. That way, if it isn't exactly tight on there and you think it's going to vibrate, you can just remove the vibrations that way. Nobody's forcing you. And you definitely don't want to force anything. All these things are simple machines. All right. Let's see if I can convince one of these guys to start into the fan. This is the part I hate. Okay, well, that's gone. But I think we can recover him. Come back, sir. Thank you. All right. There should be another one up here. So I left the screws in there so I wouldn't lose them. And, well, wouldn't you know it, I didn't lose them. Magnetic tips on these screws are fantastic. Okay. Fine. This ain't Burger King, but have it your way. Here we go. Magnet. Thank you. No, magnet. Oh, there's this guy down here. Ah, that'll do. Close enough. All right. Now let's try to fish this guy back into the right position. So we click it in. Hopefully that's the right hole. How many times are you going to be dropped, sir? They just keep falling and falling and falling. All right. The hardest part is aligning yourself to be able to find the right hole. I got an idea for that. So I got two screwdrivers, right? One of them I'm holding in my hand like an idiot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one screwdriver, jam it into the right hole, like that. And then I got to take something else. No, something smaller. How about this long screw? Jam that into the right hole. There we go. So jamming them like that into the right holes turns me into the biggest banana man on the face of the planet. That's okay too. I can appreciate that. So now I can just put the screw in there with the other screwdriver. And if I hadn't put the magnet head, the screw would have stayed in there. Because now they're aligned, and I should just be able to convince this guy into the fan. There we go. All right. Now we take the opposite guy, and hopefully we can do the same. Relatively easy. Perfect. To take the supporting idiot that I used. Speaking of idiots, has anybody seen where I put the other screws? I'm sure I put them around here somewhere. Well, this guy's over here, which is what I need. And then there was one that I dropped, which I really should find. Okay, so now let's find Mr. Drop-A-Lot. I mean, he just fell this direction. Maybe he's taking a holiday. Ah, here he is, right here. It's stuck to the magnet. Isn't that convenient for me? All right, now this guy right here. These guys are a little bit harder to put in, and the reason they are is because they're actually biting into the plastic of the fan. All right, so now we have the AIO in place. We got this fan, which is the extractor, sucking through. I mean, ideally, I could have used the small screws on that side, have the fan push through. At the end of the day, order schmorter. Even, oh, this is the fan for the AIO. And I think it goes CPU over voltage? No, thank you. CPU fan. I think this guy will probably be our best bet right here. In the BIOS later, when we'll eventually fire this beast up, hopefully it'll work, we will be able to see exactly what goes where, what fans are spinning, which ones are not through the BIOS. Now, what have we here? All right, this guy is the ARGB. So we're going to plug him into this little guy over here, gentle like. Remember, if it doesn't want to fit in the first time, don't go and try to go all Avenger on it. And if you're like me and you can't see, just get yourself a little flashlight or guide or. I don't like the way that feels. I really don't like it. I don't want to push too hard on it because oh, seems to fit. Unplug it quickly and take a look. I mean, how complex did they make this thing? Do I even need ARGB? All right, let's take a quick test and see what we can possibly conjure with this guy, because this doesn't even look like the right cable. Honestly, I don't give a rat's. It's all RGB anyway. All right, let's give it one more try. What's the worst that can happen, right? The right way around. 2 on this side, yep. Just doesn't feel right. Ah, Click. Now it feels right. Okay. It went click, gentle like. I I was very tempted to go Hulk smash onto it, but that would have accomplished nothing. All that would have done is damage the hardware, maybe break the motherboard, and turn me into the bad guy. All right, so these are fours. These are fours. This is the three. I think this is the one that would connect eventually to, and I plugged this through the wrong way. All right. I'll fish you out. Just give me a second. There we go. So this I don't like. It should go like so. There we go. 4 and 4. Perfect. Okay. So I can take these, fish them around the AIO, and then there's convenient clips here, which I can use. Excuse me, sir. Get in there. There you go. All right. I'll get these guys out of the way. I'll do a proper cleanup in a little bit. First, I'm going to just finish assembling this son of a gun to make sure that I can get this correct. All right. Now, these guys are in the correct places, but the fan, and this is important. I see this fan and I understand how it's meant to work. Okay. This fan has got the arrows. This says it rotates this way and pushes this way, which means if I put it this way, it pushes that way. Okay. Which means that if I put this guy here where he clicks in place and belongs, and I give power, here we go, case fan over here. Yeah, good luck with that, son. How am I going to get there? There it is. Come on, you can do it. There you go. All gentle like. This guy has a lot more chance of cooling down graphics card on this side and maybe even get something across the RAM. I like that. Now, we're going to put this plate back in place as well. He's not really doing much. I mean, he could have another fan. I could chuck a fan in there. I don't want to do that. I might do it later. Okay, so slides in place. No, slides in place and then goes up. Slides in place. Slide. Really? Now there's a little tab here at the back, which I can't see. Oh. And slides in place and clicks in. Oh, look at that. Funny that. All right. So we're going to put the screw back in to hold everything. I think this is fantastic, though. I really love these cases. I mean, I wish they were more compatible with a lot of the different features, but at the time when they were built, I mean, a little bit of hubris. Got to give it to them. They didn't give two flying monkeys about what they did. They just said, we'll do it this way. That's why the PCI port was down here. The panel is this side and all the USB, 300 USBs and all the U2 junk. And okay. So what do we have? Okay, let's sound it off. Memory's in place, AIO's in place. I did put the thermal paste and it came with it anyway. This radiator is in place. The VRM fan to cool them down. I don't know. It came with it. I just installed it. It was fine. This fan's in place. That fan is in place. This fan is in place. So we're good on that. Power and power. Fan down here. USB. I can't really install anything else. So let's get that power button that we need, because that would help 150 times. And the easiest way to do it is literally just to yank him from where he was. I'll plug it into the other one later. So, remember, I was showing this off to you. Oh, I haven't actually showed this to you guys, have I? All right. Chinese made, power button, simple. It's got LED and power. And incidentally, I happen to know where they go. So we're going to do that right now. All right, so we got the power switch over there and the power LED positive and power LED negative, which are on an ASUS board. The top row, first two, going from the left, with power being the leftmost. That's both of them in there. And then power switch right there. So, okay, now we have a power switch. I don't like the solution. I don't have to because I'm going to get an adapter or I'm going to make one so that the panel will work off of this motherboard. I think I want to make one, but as we're playing around with fire, let's cook some gas. All right, so what's next? Oh, yes, abso-freaking-lutely, the graphics card. Now, where did I put that? I think he's over here. Asus 3070, where art thou? There we go. Here we go. Asus 3070. You look like you could use a hand. I mean, he doesn't reach these supports. I got just the thing. Please do not laugh. But it's up here. So what this guy is a support. Now, let's see if I can figure out how he works. That looks like it's screwed. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, this is overkill. The 3070 isn't as heavy as everybody tells me that it is. All right. But let's face it. Oh, look at this guy. Ah, fantastic. I'm not going to pull that out. He's also RGB'd. I didn't realize. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. All right. Well, we're not going to care too much about the RG. We're not going to care too much about the art. We're not. Oh, fuck it. Now I get to see exactly how well this thing goes. Oh, just goes gentle clicky. Oh, clicky clacky happy dacky. All right. I'm getting some weird deja vu vibes. I wonder if you'll fit. Excuse me, sir. I would like to fit in there. I'm going to rip out this motherboard and plug this thing directly to it. God, I hate this. I mean, I can see it up until I can't. It's got to fit in there somehow. Come on. Okay, that looks click right there. Oh, Lord, am I getting better at this? Never. All right, so we open this guy up. I'm going to remove this guy just in case. You stay. You're not going to stay, are you? Well, if he does fall, at least he falls not all the way. All right, so now I can go here. Gently. That clicked. Perfect. And this guy is in all the way. All right, do I have any thumb screws? I don't feel like I've been smart enough to be able to bring some thumb screws with me. Hmm. See, now I've got a dilemma. I either pop this guy back out, which I can't even see because he's down in there, so I got to use my little screwdriver friend to help out. All right, so we're going to pop him. All right, let's pop this guy out. All right, my failure for not being 100% ready. Got to pull out my old thumb screws. Do I even have any thumb screws? Box full of them, usually. Let's see who we got. Oh, hello, Sir Thumbscrew 1 and Sir Thumbscrew 2. Oh, and a Thumbscrew 3. Look at that. How amazing is that? 3? Is that it? Only 3? Oh, there's a 4th one. Oh, jolly good. Well, I'm sure 3 will be enough. Maybe 4 if I really need to add a push. All right, let's try this again. So make sure the clip's in the right position. Oh, gentle and mature like. Click and clack. See, that screw's preventing this guy from falling onto my fingers while I'm working on it. Let's take one of these. Does this thing remove itself? God, I wish. God, I wish. All right. Well, let's see if my screwdriver is magnetic enough to be able to help me with the thumb screw. Excuse me, Mr. Thumbscrew. You're not magnetic enough, are you? All right, let's just use a regular screw for now, and then I'll replace it with a thumb screw as soon as I get an opportunity. Actually, it's probably better just to use the regular screws for now. If they just didn't flop over like deadbeats. Like wilted cabbage in the sun. That's in there. Okay, now we're going to try with this guy. So this guy, technically, oh, loosen you up. There you go. All the way down. He's supposed to go like here. All right, let's pop this guy out as well. Oh, pop all of them out. I'll put them in with the ones that need to be put in later. Okay. That looks pretty neat to me. All right, let's grab another case screw. Really? Not Christmas yet, is it? All right, so the theory is that with enough screws, this thing will hold the weight, or at least some of the weight of the graphics card. Oh, it's even got plastic standoffs. Awesome. So I don't have to scratch up anything. I grab one of these guys, chuck them on this little brace. There we go. Now we're going to take a beefier screw. That's 2. And another beefy. Okay. So now, wow, that's pretty solid. So now I can just unscrew this guy, push until he supports, but not too much. Now he supports the graphics card. That's going nowhere. Oh, did I forget? Oh, there we go. Bonk it on the hood a couple of times and then tell it it's going nowhere. This guy, I'm not exactly too impressed. It's ugly as sin. All right, fine. Put him over here for now. This guy, should I be able to put in a good position? No, come back. Come hither. All right, screw. There we go, like that. So now I can pull this retainer and drop him into the case where I'll never see him again. All right. Okay, I did not anticipate this particular issue. Whereas these screws and this bracket are actually too strong for this. Wow, that's on there. With enough force and damage, we'll be able to go and give up on this case 100% altogether. All right. Now, where was that long? Here you are, son. There. Okay. So, power, graphics card, but graphics card's not complete. Why? Because we got this rat's nest to plug in. Now, I was looking at this, and the way this is sorted, it's two different areas. So, R1, 2, and 3 are one area, which is these guys. And then you got R4, R5, and 6, which are these guys. Now, I don't really need these, so I could just clip them off. But then what do? Just leave them hanging around on the floor somewhere? No way. So VGA1 is actually composed of all three. All right. So it's got three powers. And this has got three powers, VGA1, both sides. Why? Because it's pulling from this port, and this port. Now, they're all on the same rail, don't get me wrong. They're all on the same rail, but that means that it's sharing the power going through these directly to these guys, so that doesn't matter how much draw this does, it's going to try to balance it out over these cables so they all heat up and catch fire at the same time, evenly. I mean, you know what I mean. All right, so what we're going to do is I can see that R5, 6, R4, 5, and 6 are all in the same. So I'm going to try to put them in the correct order, which is facing down. Oh, these are already conveniently placed. So I'm just going to put them. This is 6. I forgot that this is, there we go. This one's 5. This one's 4. Oh, perfect. Now, these guys I don't really need. They can stay off here to the side, not bother anybody. These guys, on the other hand, all right, I need 1, 2, and 3. So, where's 3? 3. Here you are, son. Here we go. Gentle like. 2. Not quite so gentle. 1. Smooth as silk. Perfect. All right, now that that guy's in place, there's a button here on the side, right behind all this mess. What? Yeah, that I can go and push, and everything slides into place. All right, that's done, right? Yeah, almost. Let's see, VGA1. I need all 4 of those. So I'm going to put VGA1 like so. By the way, I know these work because actually this graphics card was with this motherboard. So, I mean, this power supply. So click and make sure it's plugged in properly. That's also VGA1. Perfect. And click. But yeah, this has got enough plugs for 4 video cards. So 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, wow, it's amazing. Talk about overkill. I mean, who needs 4 video cards in a system? But hey, if you're going to do Crossfire or SLI or whatever it was at the time, That was really the kick-ass option. This is where you want to do. Okay. I feel that we're ready for the first test. By the way, this thing catches fire. I'm still going to publish because I must have failed somewhere and I really need to review the video and I want other sets of eyes to be able to help me look for it. All right, so screwdrivers are back in place. I don't need you guys in the way. I fixed a kit. Thank you. You've been so friendly. Now all the nuts, bolts, washers, things that I didn't actually need. I'm going to pull these guys and put them away. I've got magnets that hold everything in place, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, so those guys. I don't like the big screws that. Is it just the big screws? You know what? It's just the big screws. What am I doing? Why am I being so stuck in my lazy ways? Let's not be lazy about this, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take those big screws out, the first one, because that guy is preventing this from shutting properly. I mean, it's just a little bit, right? Come on. Don't get stuck in your ways as well. Put the smaller one in place. Perfect. Now let's do it for the other one that I have. And I just realized, thank goodness I double checked, this guy's missing its screw. So I'm going to give him a screw as well. There you go. And there's another screw here, which I've instantly just thrown onto the floor because that's where it obviously needs to be. Let's put some dog hairs on it as well while we're at it. Hard to put a screw in place when there's already a screw in place. And clicky. Ah, that's more like it. I mean, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still something out because this thing here is actually quite raised because it's got to be strong to be able to hold everything in place. But at least it shuts. All right. Now I feel a little bit better about myself. Not much, don't get me wrong. So, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a keyboard and mouse in the form of a USB. As I got some ports back here, click. That's a good start. Now, the other part, now this should be interesting. I got a new toy. I got this guy 15-inch, 1080p, 60 hertz, and touchscreen. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug him in. So he's got a mini HDMI on his end. So I'm going to plug in the HDMI into the graphics card. I'm going to plug this guy in to the mini HDMI. Perfect. Now he gets power off a USB-C. There we go. Incidentally, USB-C is also on this motherboard. So that should be enough. So I only need the one plug. Now, I got the power lead. God, this is scary. Let's plug this sucker in. There's no power button. All right, let's see if it blows up. 3, 2, 1. The monitor came on. And I've got a rat here Where'd I put that keyboard? Wireless keyboard, wireless mouse, power. Wow, those guys are loud. Oh, it's trying. It's all plugged in. One Charlie. What's a one Charlie? Tell me what a one Charlie is. It's doing something. All right, let's see. One Charlie, where are you? Seriously? Didn't I have this? Oh, it's booting. It's booting. I didn't have to do anything. It was just retraining itself. Fantastic. That was pretty painless, actually. All okay. I think it's installing the video card drivers right now. That's why it's flipping, because it had a 4070. Now it goes, oh, I don't have that. Fans are pretty hefty. USB device is probably the monitor it doesn't like. It's all right. We'll figure it all out. Wi-Fi is working. Well, why wouldn't it? The motherboard has the Wi-Fi antennas on. Oh, they're not. It's not plugged in. It does have a Wi-Fi antenna I can plug in, which is pretty nice. Okay, Steam seems to work. What I want to do is there we go. I want to see if it actually does work. Green hell? No, thank you. I already got that. But yeah, that seems to be running. It is relatively loud. GeForce says check for updates. It's a new driver because it's a new graphics card, the 3070. And we'll give it a try. But for now, this all seems to be working the way it's meant to. So we managed. Oh, wow. Oh, Lord, do they kick out some heat? I mean, some wind. Sorry, heat? No. I mean, they're kicking the heat away real good. This one, not so much. Not so much. Maybe I might swap that guy for that guy. But yeah, he's pushing like you wouldn't believe it. This guy is not messing about. Fantastic. So, yeah, graphics cards are installing and everything else. Well, that's a win on my hand. I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to be stress testing this now for a couple of days, make sure that everything works. I'm going to try to get the adapter so I don't have to use this silly contraption to be able to turn it on and off. And I'll try to see if I can get the panels to light up, the LEDs. There is a port here, a button, but that's got some LEDs, but that needs to be plugged in as well. Once all that's done, we're golden. This is fantastic. Yeah, these guys they're not messing about. They are high volume. These are server fans. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, everything here is relatively cool. I wonder if there's a way. GPU Z, are you running? Doesn't this guy here sometimes tell me temperatures? Sensors, here we go. GPU temperature, 41 degrees. Okay, it's doing nothing really. But it's got all the power. All the power that it needs, it cares for. There's the video card drivers installing. All right, fantastic news. That's great. Okay, once again, thank you very much, everybody, for paying attention to me. As silly as it may sound, but hey, it worked out great. Thanks again, guys. Ta-da!